got the Highlander over in the sport mode and we'll get our acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going over a 2021 Toyota Highlander Platinum. This particular one is a hybrid, but first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for providing us with the Highlander. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's just get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a 2.5 liter four-cylinder that is paired to a hybrid system and a CVT automatic transmission. Power outputs are 243 horsepower, and then in terms of the fuel economy, it's 35 around town and then 34 on the highway. Let's go over the front end on the Highlander. I really like the design on the hood, especially the divot there in the center. Definitely a cool, unique look. And then coming to the lights, you've got the LED light, and then you have the little accent light right there that looks really good. Fog light just down below, and then the parking sensors all along the front. And then yes, they do the blue around the Toyota logo, so you know it's a hybrid. Got a little camera right there. And other than that, things are pretty simple on the front end of the Highlander. Around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires and 20-inch wheels in the front and in the rear as well. And then other than that, if we actually come up and take a look, we can see the kind of suspension setup here in the front of the Highlander. Nothing too crazy. I do like the design though on the wheels. It's kind of just like a giant flower design. Got a hybrid badge there so that everyone knows that you're saving the planet 1 gallon at a time. All-wheel drive badge as well. And then here is our full side view on the Highlander. I love how they have the pillar there black because it kind of makes the roof look like it's floating a little bit. Oh yeah, it's a hybrid, so you're not going to hear anything because it's in EV mode. Let's go over the back of the Highlander. So you got a little Highlander mat back here, and then this is just for the license plate cover. And then there is actually a full power outlet here in the back as well. And then underneath the little mat here, you can pull this up for some extra little storage space underneath. And other than that, there's the third row, and then this is just how much storage it is. Definitely on the small side, but pretty typical for SUVs in this segment. Let's go over the back of the Highlander. So first off, I love the taillights on the new body style Highlander. Just a really cool, sleek look. And again, more hybrid badging, the Platinum badge right there, and then the Highlander badge. Other than that, things, again, on the back end aren't too crazy. And then you do have little roof rails there at the top. Let's take a look at this door panel right here. So first off, got a little sunshade here for the rear passengers. Got this nice wood trim, and then you got soft touch all along here. Pretty normal door handle, nothing crazy. And then you've got captain chairs in the back. You've got nice perforations here in the leather, and it's pretty simple setup. But let's actually pop in. So ducking my head a little bit and stepping in. Decent amount of room right here. I mean, you guys can see headroom solid. Legroom is also solid. Heated seats for the rear passengers. There's also their own little climate section, and another power outlet, a couple of USBs, a couple of cup holders. Now, the third row, definitely I would reserve it for kids. So you can see the headroom isn't too much of an issue. It's mostly the legroom. There's not a whole lot. They do get some cup holders back there as well, but again, I would probably reserve this third row for kids mostly. Now here's the door panel at the front. So again, you've got that nice soft touch and the wood trim. And then you see you've got memory seats right here. I think it's kind of cool how they slant it right here. You've got a little mirror adjustment. And then here's the seats at the front. So really nice with the material use. And then you've got kind of like a cool like quilted type design with the perforations in the leather. And then you got your adjustments here on the side of the seat. Here's the pedal layout, and then you've got a little Highlander mat right there. That's for the gas release. You've got your hood release as well. And then over here, you've got stuff for the camera system. This is to turn on some of the power outlets, your heated steering wheel. That's for the rear wiper. And then this is for the hatch in the back. But there is one more look before we pop in. Now here's a quick look at the steering wheel of the Highlander. So you've got smooth leather all around, and then you've got white stitching on the center of the steering wheel to kind of contrast that. And then we can see over here, you've got the controls for the cruise control, the collision assistance, lane departure assistance as well. On the other side, you got like your phone controls, voice command controls, volume control, all that kind of stuff. You got the stock for the lights, windshield wiper stock on the other side. And then by the way, the steering super light. In the center, you can see that since this is a hybrid, you've got the little hybrid area. So you've got like your charge, your eco, and then your power. So like if I press it, nothing will happen, but when I drive it, something will happen. If you press the accelerator pedal, it'll actually turn on the gas part of the system, so that's a pretty neat little thing. And then there in the center, there's a couple different menus you can kind of scroll through that just give you different bits of information on the Highlander. So you can see like your fuel economy, for example. We've got that little seatbelt status, you got stuff for the safety tech, and then you can see how the energy is going through the car, which is pretty neat. In terms of like Toyotas, it's definitely more on the advanced side, and it looks cool too. Here's a quick look at the infotainment system. First off, I'm going to pop it into reverse. You can see the camera system that pops up. So you got that little bird's eye view there, and then you got the view out of the rear, and then if you press that little button right there, then it'll just give you a little bit of a different view. You guys remember that camera button there on the side? So if I press that camera button, you can see it gives me kind of like a view all around the Highlander. And sorry about the glare, it's just the time of day. And then if you press again, then it'll just turn it off. So it's kind of cool that it gives you that little view, and then you can press this to kind of change the view, and it'll give you like a 360 view all around, which I think that's pretty neat actually. Now with the rest of the infotainment system, this is kind of like Toyota's newer system, and in terms of like all the functionality on it, it's pretty straightforward. So you can see that you can just go over and press things on the screen. Response time is pretty much instantaneous on everything. I just love like all those shortcuts there on the side. But yeah, from response time, really good. I love how you have like all these different menus, and it's kind of like a tri-screen, if that makes sense, because you have like the stuff on the side, you've got the stuff here in the middle, and then you've got like navigation on the side, and then you can press that and change kind of like the formatting of it, which is also a pretty neat little thing. But yeah, overall, really good infotainment system, really easy to use, really good response time. I like it though. And just down below the infotainment system, you've got analog controls for the radio. You've got your heated seats, ventilated seats as well. And remember, it is a tri-zone climate, so you have the climate for the front up here, and then you have the climate for the rear. You've got a couple vents and then a little hazard light. And then you have this like interesting storage space that I still haven't been able to figure out. It's just kind of like randomly there. I've got this little area right here with some USBs and then a little 12 volts right there, and again, extra random storage. But yeah, here is the shifter for the CVT, and then you can shift the gears yourself. Remember, CVT doesn't actually have gears, they just kind of mimic a automatic transmission with gears. And then you've got your parking brake right here, you've got your couple of cup holders, and then we've got the drive mode select, which is pretty straightforward. So you can see it'll pop up here. So you can see you've got the normal, sport, and then the eco. It just kind of changes that little bottom part right there. You've got red, got the gray, got the blue, nothing too crazy. And then yes, you can turn off the stability control, go into full EV mode, and then you've got the little trail mode if you do want to take this off-roading. Now I've got the full center console here, which this little thing slides forward and reveals the wireless charger. And then you can see inside there you've got even more storage space. So again, pretty neat little setup. I like how it's like just like the 2 levels with that, and just looks pretty cool in general. And then really nice trim here along the dash, a little bit of extra storage. And then we can see with the glove box, pretty normal setup. And then you can see more nice use with materials here on the Platinum. Up top here, I've got a little sunglass holder that also doubles as a mirror. You've just got to catch it on the right angle. And well, I don't have kids, so that's probably why I'm not able to like catch it properly. If I had kids, then I'd know how to use it. And then yes, you've got a full panoramic sunroof. You guys know how these function, pretty straightforward. And that's all for the top. Now that we're done going over the interior, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Highlander Platinum Hybrid stickers for about $51,000, almost $52,000 before any type of market adjustment. That being said, let's take this Highlander Platinum out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility here in the 2021 Highlander before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood. Nothing's changed since the 2020 model year. There's visibility through both of the mirrors. Remember, it does have blind spot monitoring. And then here's the visibility all throughout the rear. So the seats do get in the way a little bit, but remember, it does have blind spot monitoring, so that'll help out. And that all being said, let's set off. Now we're about to set off here in the Highlander, and you guys remember I just said, hey, the seats kind of get in the way. Well, if you get a Platinum here, you get the new camera, which is pretty neat. That'll definitely help out because then the seats won't get in the way with visibility there. And now we get to officially set up. Well, we're still in the parking lot, but I realized I forgot to talk about that feature in the walk around. That was my bad for sure. But initially setting off here in the Highlander, it's actually very quiet with this hybrid system. And you guys heard me mention earlier with the steering is exceptionally light. Like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you just don't really feel anything with the steering, and it's just super, super easy. You can see the brakes with that hybrid system are not weird at all. It brakes like a normal car actually. But getting up onto the road now, in terms of the ride quality, it's very smooth, and from the noise perspective, it's very quiet. So ranking against other SUVs, I definitely say that this is as smooth as other SUVs in this segment, maybe a little bit smoother. And then in terms of how quiet it is, because of that hybrid system, I'd say it's a little bit quieter because you really don't hear anything from the engine. So it definitely has more of a luxury feel. And then you guys can see the little heads-up display hopefully on the camera. Basically, it shows you if you're staying in your lane, the current speed you're going, and then it also shows you kind of like the mode you're in. So like if you're eco, power, all that kind of stuff. So you really don't have to look down at the gauges at all. You can just look at the heads-up display and therefore look at the road. And we'll kind of see how the turning is coming up to here. Again, brakes are really good and they don't feel weird at all. Yeah, so turning's really good. Definitely drives smaller than it is. It doesn't feel like it's a big third row SUV, so that is definitely a plus. We've got the Highlander over in the sport mode and we'll get our acceleration. That is very, very torquey. Like, as soon as you get on, once you get into the 4-cylinder and it's no more electric assistance, definitely tapers off a little bit, but right off the line, you definitely feel quite a bit of torque, and it's not bad by any means. So other vehicles this is gonna be competing against, right? You've got like the Dodge Durango, Ford Explorer, all that kind of stuff. If you go for their less premium engine options, like the Dodge Durango, for example, if you get the Dodge Durango with the V6, this feels right in line with that. Like, it feels like it competes with it from the initial acceleration. I imagine once you get on the highway, since that has more horsepower, it'll definitely pull harder, but the initial acceleration, this feels very, very solid. And that'll actually get me into summing things up with this Highlander Platinum. And of course, I went over the line a little bit, beeps at me. So if you're looking for a third row SUV, right, it's a really hot segment right now. You've got Ford Explorer, Dodge Durango, Honda Pilot, Mazda CX-9, etc., Kia Telluride. I mean, there's so many options nowadays. Everyone's making a third row SUV. It's kind of a hard segment to decide in. With Toyota, right, Toyota's known for their reliability. They actually have some decent tech nowadays. They've got all the safety tech as well, so it's right in line with all the other vehicles. And so you get the Toyota reliability. It's got the tech the other SUVs have. Price point is right where it should be compared to the other SUVs. And so really what it comes down to is preference. And I mean, in terms of the fuel economy, this is definitely better because of the hybrid system compared to its competitors. And so I would say that it's definitely up there. If you're looking for something that's a little bit better from a fuel economy standpoint, then yeah, I'd see that's where the Highlander definitely pulls apart a little bit. That is going to sum things up for a video on this 2021 Toyota Highlander Platinum. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for providing us with the Highlander. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.